Hey, 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 it's Erica with Wallace House Designs here. We're going to be painting some beachy like ornaments. So if you hop on, tell me where you're from. If you're catching the replay, make sure you say hashtag replay. If you're catching it live, say good morning. I have forgot one little thing. As always, there's always one little thing that I'm always missing. Let me go grab it. So I didn't go live Monday only because I have had the worst allergies of my life. It has been awful. Hey, Maria. How are you doing this morning? Okay. So I've got this little bag right here of little goodies. I did pick up some stuff. So if I start coughing, I am so sorry. Y'all just bear with me. It has been kicking my rear. I don't normally get allergies, but lately it's been bad. I can't take enough medicine to make it go away. And I don't like to take medicine, so I try not to. But we do what we do. We do what we can. Okay, so what we're going to do is over in the paint studio, our theme this month is mermaids. And I am so excited because I have a little soft spot for mermaids. I love mermaids. My daughter loves mermaids. And so we are going to paint some ornaments. When you think ornaments, you think Christmas time, right? No. With ornaments, it can be for anything. People decorate with ornaments all the time. It's not just for your Christmas tree. They make these really cute ornament stands, and let me see if I can get this down just a little bit more. And hey, good morning, Kim. Of course, Roma, you would want inside. Give me just a second. So ornaments are decor for more than just Christmas time. Let me go let Mr. Romo in. So we're going to make a couple of beachy ornaments. We're going to make some beachside scenes, and we're going to add some 3D elements. And these 3D elements are super easy to find. Honestly, you do not need the exact same ones. I got mine at Michael's. Good morning, good morning. Okay, so let's get to starting. So what I'm just gonna pick colors. I didn't really put a whole lot of thought. We're gonna go with some True Blue. Let's see, some Calypso Blue. So we got True Blue, Calypso Blue. Let's pick our sandy beachy color. Let's see. I've got Burlap. I have one that's and bleached sand. So here's our color scheme. Put them upside down so you can really see the color. Here's our color scheme. Okay. Good morning, Lori. Good morning, Crystal. Morning, Sherry. So that's pretty much the color scheme that we're going with. We may, and white. We need white as well. Okay. So let's go ahead and get to painting. Let's pull out either a flat or an angle, a good size, maybe a 3/4 or an inch. These are smaller pieces, so they do not need to be super big. All right, let's get our paint palette off to the side. Let's start with our blue. And we're going to do a lot of lazy painting, but there are a couple of techniques that I'm going to throw in here that are going to be super fun, I wouldn't say new, but versatile. They are versatile. So we've got that. Let's move that off to the side. So what I'm going to do is do we want our blue to be a darker blue? Do we want it to be a lighter blue? I think we want it to be a little darker because I have the thing that I have planned for it, I think you're going to like. So let's go ahead and paint the majority of our ornament, and let's put a little swoosh because that's where our beach is going to start. We don't need a huge beach. I really like the thought of our beach being kind of the sandy part being kind of nominal and the water being the focal point. And I'll show you why in just a second. The extra little pieces that I have, my 3D pieces, they're kind of smaller. And so I don't want my beach to look massive and then my little pieces get kind of lost. So I'm going to kind of eyeball this. And all I'm doing is putting a little Pepsi. That reminds me of Pepsi, okay? The little Pepsi swoosh on the can, the Pepsi can where it goes whoosh. That's all I'm doing. So there's our first coat there. You know, my allergies, they're just kicking my rear. And then we're going to do another one. They do not have to be identical. They do not. This is something where we're just kind of freehanding. Okay. It's Thursday, isn't it? Y'all tell me if it's not Thursday, because in my brain it's Thursday. This is how much medicine messes with me. It messes with me vocally, like y'all hear it in my voice, but it also messes, I cannot breathe whatsoever, but we will make it through. Anybody else got allergies that are just like, you're just dying? Marie, hey, hey, hey. Hey, Marie Mosley, what's up? All right, again, a little Pepsi swoosh. It does not have to be a little Pepsi swoosh. It can be any shape of water that you want, but think about when the waves come in. They kind of come in a wave formation. When they break on the sand, they kind of, almost as if a snake is slithering the kind of path that it would take. So that if you look, it kind of goes, whoop. Yeah, but we don't like snakes. And y'all, if y'all could stop posting pictures of snakes you find around your house, that'd be great. You know, a little PSA from your friend who is deathly afraid of snakes, especially like visually. Whenever y'all post dadgum pictures of snakes, my skin crawls and I have to shut Facebook down. I can't, as soon as I see a snake on my screen, I'm like, done. I'm done. Burn the phone. We're over. I'm going to bed now. I have seen more snakes on Facebook just because people are like, look what I found. I was like, that's fine. That's great. You keep it over there. Okay. I don't want to see it. All right. We're going back to ornament number 1. So we're just making 3. Whenever I make ornaments, I make them in at least 3 because I know I'm going to use them. I know oh, what did Miriam say? My hubby killed a snake yesterday. See, that's all Miriam had to say. She didn't have to show me a picture for me to understand the intensity of what happened at her house yesterday. I'm just saying, my neighborhood is the worst. We have cottonmouths and we have, what's that one? The water moccasins. We got some scary stuff over here. And I don't like snakes to begin with. So, yeah, let's let Erica's heart not be tampered with the image of snakes. Snakes and spiders. Snakes and spiders are what get me. And I feel like that's a pretty common thing. So all I did was, while the blue was drying, I took a little bit of that Calypso blue. So I started with True Blue, and now I've moved on to Calypso blue, and I added it on a dirty brush, which means I did not wash my brush. Okay, I did not wash my brush. With a dirty brush, I threw some Calypso blue, and I'm just kind of messy painting that on there. Now, if your True Blue has already dried, you may want to do a light coat of the True Blue. All we're wanting is, we're not wanting it to completely blend together. We want them to play together. Okay, you see the little waves that I'm creating by just messy painting that. Okay, and each one is going to be different. Each one, that's the beauty of especially messy painting these. Each one is going to be different because the brush stroke pattern is going to be different, and the way that they play together is going to be different. We don't want them to blend together. We want them to play together, which means I want to see both. I want to see both colors. I don't want to see a completely new shade of blue. I want to see both of my original blues. That's what I mean by, I don't want them to blend together. I want them to play together. Okay, there we go. And the amount of brush strokes that you do dictates whether they're going to blend or whether they're going to play. Okay, there we go. So all I'm doing is I'm assembly lining them. So the first one that I blended here went over here, and then they keep scooting as I put them there. I'm going to clean my brush. Morning, Cindy and Katie. What are you painting? We're painting some beach scene ornaments. So a huge trend during Christmas time. This is not for Christmas, but what I have noticed is that coastal Christmas is a thing. It's a big thing. So I had some ornaments laying around, and the theme in the Paint Studio, which is a membership where I teach people how to take painting to the next level. Our theme this month is mermaids. And so I thought, you know, how cool would it be if we did like a little beach scene ornament? You know, a little extra bonus for my paint studio to add to their little arsenal of decor pieces that they got. So in the paint studio, we do decor pieces. Like we do a whole decor set. You get a door hanger, an attachment, and a garland, which is, or a banner. Some people call them banners. This is that burlap color, and I'm not blending them together. I'm just putting them side by side, okay? So it's basically the color of my wood, but better. It's kind of like when you go to the nail salon, you're like, I just want a nice, you know, match my skin tone nude. So it's like what they call in the nail world, your skin tone, but better. Your nails, but better. Sometimes with your foundation, like, I just want my exact color. I don't want any contouring or highlight. I just want my skin, but I want it to look, you know, nice, cover. It was like, it's your skin, but better. Kind of like that. Don't look at my page. I think you were the last one. I think you're the culprit that finally made me decide. I need, you know, it's not just my neighborhood anymore. It's, we know it's snake season, okay? It's not only summer season, it's snake season too. We know this. Especially us in the South, we really know it's snake season. We don't need reminders. Okay, so there we go. There's number 2. Now, all we're doing is we're just putting a nice little foundation of sand color, because we're going to take the sand to the next level. So over in the paint studio, we take a technique, and off of that technique, I pick a technique each month, and off that technique, I design something around it. Well, in the studio, we have a particular technique, and it was, you know, mermaids just so happened to fit the bill for that technique. So we get a 3-piece decor set each month. And this month's decor set was mermaids and seashells and starfish and all things whimsical nautical, right? I did it to test engagement. Well, I'm going to tell you right now, I scrolled really fast. I can't take a picture of a snake. It literally, like I did this. Like, I can't do that. Hurts. Like, my whole body tensed up. I went to bed all, what is it called? What's my mama call it? Like all locked up. I was on edge. Every time I see a daggum snake picture, it's awful. I don't blame you. It is what it is. It's the world we live in, right? Okay. So we've got these drying. Let me explain to you what our next step is going to be for the water. We really need that to dry a little bit. We're going to test this out. I've got 2 different textures here. We've got paper. We've got plastic. We're going to do the same technique, but we're going to use 2 different things. We're doing some testing. Okay. And actually, I'm going to get rid of this styrofoam. We're just going to lay this plastic down to kind of protect my surface here. Because styrofoam makes some noise. And I figured, let's save y'all from the noise. Okay, so we're going to take the plastic and the styrofoam, the plastic and the paper, and we're going to do the exact same thing. And we're going to see which one we like better, okay? Sometimes I use a plastic bag. Sometimes I use saran wrap. Sometimes I use anything that can crinkle up really good. I love to test this technique out because you get different things. I have even gone to the point of using painter's tape that was left over, and I've used painter's tape to do what we're about to do. And I'm just waiting for a good bit of this to be dry. So I think this one's pretty dry. Okay, so right there, we've got some nice little waves breaking. So it looks like the water is moving in with the different colored blues that we have got coming in there, right? Now, what we're going to do is we're going to ghost out our lightest blue just a little bit. So we're going to take some white. Okay. And all we're going to do is we're going to do a half and half mixture of our Calypso blue and our white. Okay, so I've got white. You can barely see that because it's on top of white paint. in our Calypso blue, and we're just going to make a lighter blue. You don't necessarily want white. Okay. You don't want the original light blue. You want to make it lighter than what you've already used in here, because you really want it to show up. So we're going to take our saran wrap. We're going to bunch it up. Okay. You don't want to do it too tight. You don't want to do it too tight. You want it to be kind of a loose bunching. Okay. And you'll get a feel for it. It's something that you want to kind of do a couple of practice runs on. Okay, so that's a lot of paint. So I'm going to knock most of it off on my palette. Okay, so I'm going to rebunch it up. Yeah, see, that's a lot of paint. Okay. Our sandy color was still a little wet. Okay. Kind of looks like beach wave. So there's our first texture. Now let's see if we like this one better. We're going to take paper. Paper has a little bit more structure to it than plastic. So what we'll be able to do, and I have a feeling we're going to like the paper better. We're going to crumple it up. I'm using parchment paper. So our first tutorial for this month in the studio is tomorrow, and we're going to be painting our door hanger. And I'll be able to show you at the end of the video what we're painting over in the studio. We're going to do the same color. Okay. And we're not trying to get it down in there. Okay. See how much I have? Like, it's not a lot. You want to rotate your paper around. See how I'm telling? It's just kicking my butt. Okay. See, it kind of gives the break, and we're going to leave this one alone. We're going to pick which one we like the most, okay? So we've got, and now they've got to stay in this order. We got saran wrap, we've got paper, and we've just lazy painting, right? Okay, now I'm going to take what's called textured sand. This is a DecoArt product. It's just a medium. It's kind of got a sandy, coarse, not super coarse, but it's got a sandy texture to it. And I'm going to use, I want to put it on, but I don't want to use a good brush to put it on. I want to use a brush that I don't care about, because I have a feeling I'll never get this fully out of my brush. Let's use this one. This is just a cheapy, I mean, it's not cheapy. It's a Royal and Langnickel, but I don't use this one too often. It's really fluffy, and I don't like my brushes super fluffy. I like them to be a little thin, so I have a little bit more maneuvering to them, that I can kind of maneuver them a little better. So all I'm doing is I'm putting this sand texture. Now you can actually mix actual sand with Mod Podge and get a similar effect. It's not going to be as unison as this. Okay, and you're just going to brush it on. You don't need it to be like, the brush strokes don't really matter. Okay. And I may need to go hook up my blow dryer. So all we're doing is we're just making some ornaments in honor of our design this month. I figured let y'all know what we've got going on over there by doing a fun little project that ties into what we're doing over there. So Paint Studio is basically getting an extra tutorial for a fun little ornament, a little basic ornament shape. And this is just a basic ornament shape. This is my go-to ornament shape. If I'm not looking for a very unique shape, I have one that is a very unique shape that I like to use for ornaments too. But if I'm just wanting just a basic ornament to do a focal point on, like this would be a focal point design. Like it's a landscape. It's a there's nothing in this design that is saying, hey, look at me specifically. I'm the whole design. Everything else is just a supportive role. The whole thing is focal point. I think I've lost comments. So if you're commenting, keep commenting. I'll come back at the end of the video. I'm going to plug up my blow dryer. I'll come back at the end of the video and answer any questions that you may have. So if you have any questions, feel free to ask. Oh, it's already plugged up. I forgot I switched things around to where it stays plugged up. We're good to go. I just got to figure out where I put it. Is this it? Nope, that's the plug itself. Oh, yeah, there we go. So, good morning, Pam. Oh, there y'all are. Do you sell ornament blanks? I do. I do sell ornament blanks. In fact, I got to get this over. I just started a partnership, which I got my first box in today with Home Creations. They're going to be cutting all my blanks for me because I am so behind on orders because I'm a one-woman shop. I do everything myself. I design about 50 designs a month between the designs I design for y'all, between the designs I design for Paint Studio, and then I ghost design for a couple of companies, some big box stores, and then some other door hanger companies as well. So by the end of the month, I've designed about 50 designs. And so that's my favorite part. I love teaching and I love designing. So I've decided I've got to give something up. Something's got to give for me to have the time to do what I feel like I do best, which is teaching and designing. So with me being a one-woman shop, it really hit my pride to not do 100% of my business. But I am very, very excited to be able to support and to partner with another business, especially one that's small, like it's a small business like myself. And because my heart is with small business. I love supporting other small businesses. Yeah, the medicine is messing with my head. I cannot get my thoughts straight. Does medicine do that to anybody else? I feel like I'm not myself, which is why I skipped Monday. I'm sorry I skipped Monday, y'all, but I was not myself. Like there was no way that we'd have a tutorial that made any daggum sense. Good morning. Hey, Becca. Hey, Lena. Is it Lena or Lana? Like Lena, like the fast lane, or Lana, like land that I love, like the good old American ditty. I bought a couple of blanks from them. Oh, yay, Debbie. Okay, so yeah. So with Home Creations, we are working really hard to get my entire catalog. Y'all, I have about 700. I'm just going to go ahead and hide myself. I have about 700 designs that need to be filtered over there. So we're working very hard to get my entire catalog over there. We have not launched that shop yet, but it will be coming. My goal is by June 1st to have the shop completely launched with them so that y'all can order from them. They're going to be a lot faster than I can cut because remember, I'm a one-woman shop. So I can only cut when I can cut. And by the time we finish with this live, it's too hot here for me to cut. And so we're going to let them do what they do best. And I'm going to do what I do best. What they do best is laser work. And what I do best is drum up ideas for us to sit down and have fun painting, right? And so it's a perfect little marriage. And I'm really excited about it. It's just going to take some time to get it all set up just because I'm kind of I kind of overloaded them whenever we were sitting talking. They go, okay, so how are we gonna organize the switch over from your shop to our shop? I was like, well, there's about 700 designs. I'm not switching over 100% of them. I'm gonna filter out some of the older designs that I think I want to what Disney would call reimagine. We're gonna reimagine them or remaster. Like whenever you get a song that's been redone, it's like, oh, it's remastered. Yeah, we're gonna remaster some of the older ones into my style that I have now, because over the years my style has changed and my skill has changed, and I feel like I can do some of those ideas from the past. I can do them better justice now. So I think that's I missed the BOGO Tuesday this week. I could not find the one I wanted, then got busy and missed. Oh, Cindy, which one were you looking for? All of April practically got skipped. I still have all of April's designs that need to be uploaded to the shop. So if you're part of Erica's Template Tribe, you did not miss a thing. But if you're waiting on the public designs to release, April, I mentally checked out when it came to April and uploading my website. Like banana. Ooh! Banana. Oh, La'ana. Banana. Hold on. Hey, Jessica. I can't wait for this month's piece. It's going to be super cute. Yes, it is. I'm super excited about it. I designed that one, and I was like, I cannot wait for them to see it, because it just spoke to my heart, because, the whole mermaid. All right, so we've got the sandy texture. So do you see the sandy texture? I'm not going to paint over that. We're going to leave it just like that. We're going to leave it just like that, because I feel like it does give it the nice little sand texture to it. Now, if I wanted it to be more just one solid color, I would paint on top of that. Or I would mix this sand color into my paint itself. So what you're supposed to do is you're supposed to take that sand texture and mix it into the paint that you want. There's a ratio, and you just read the bottle. But what I wanted that, like that. I don't know if you can see it, but do you see, like, it looks like sand that's been wet and it's starting to dry, and right before the wave comes back up, you know how wet sand, when it gets wet, it gets darker. That's what it kind of looks like to me. It looks like sand that's being wet and dry and all different. I love it. Okay, so we've got it as far as we can get it there. We're now going to take just a raggedy brush, or something that's kind of bristly. I'm actually going to use this brush. It's meant for ceramics. And look, I use it so often that it still has the tag on it. I've used it a few times, but I don't paint ceramics too often. I'm going to take this white paint, but it's a really stiff, coarse brush. I'm going to take some white paint, and I'm going to put it over here on my parchment paper, and I'm just going to tap most of it off, okay? And we're going to take it, and we're going to just focus it on the hairline. Like it kind of reminds me of a hairline. You're going to focus it over here where the water meets the sand. Okay, and you're just going to go back and forth with your brush. Like I'm just kind of rotating my brush to get a different angle every time I pounce. And it's going to create the sea spray. And you can get as crazy as you want with this. You can make it as wide or as concentrated as you want. I'm going to make mine a little bit wider and go up into the water. But I'm also going to come up into the sand. Remember, you got to visualize those slithering snakes, those freaking snake pictures that y'all keep posting, as if we don't know there's snakes about. I'm going to tell you right now, if Adam and Eve had Facebook, Eve would have never ate that apple. She would have known that there was a snake in the garden, because y'all would have posted a picture of it. I'm telling y'all, Facebook came about how many thousand years too late? I'm telling y'all, Facebook would have saved our lives back then. She would have known exactly where he was too, because y'all would have put a mile marker on it. Y'all missed that conversation. I hate snakes. Every time I open Facebook, someone has posted look what I found in my backyard. It's dead now. And I'm like, good. But now I'm afraid of my own backyard. I don't want to go out there. Now, my neighbor and I did this this year. She used to do it for us, but she moved. Whatever, not even going to talk about that. But she moved. She used to put mothballs out like ridiculously, mothballs through her backyard and my backyard. Okay, so there's our sea foam. Let's set that one aside. And that kind of repelled them because they don't like the smell of it. So I did that this year. I put the mothballs out this year, and luckily we have not seen not one shedding. We have not seen one hole, nothing. I went a little crazy with it too. If the wind picked up really good, you could smell mothballs. But I was taking no chances. I never paid attention to how much she put out. She always did it. And she would always send me a text, okay, they're out. Because I have a feeling she was more afraid of them than I was. Or she didn't, And so I was just very appreciative of that. And this year it hit me about spring, when spring really got good and warm. I was like, oh, you know what? We haven't put mothballs out yet. There's number 2. Oh gosh. Oh no. No. I got blue. Okay, so since we're dry brushing, we don't want to stick this in water. So all I did was I took my paint rag and I'm just emptying I'm just kind of need white paint. Need some clean white paint because I just accidentally dipped my brush in blue paint that was sitting right next to the white paint that I was using. Okay. So there's that. If you didn't know that, and she's the one that told me about the mothballs. I didn't know any of that before knowing her, and I can say we're the only house that never posted pictures of seeing a snake. We never saw a snake, and if we did, they stayed far away from us. I never saw the hint of a snake. If there was a snake in our yard, I do feel like Romo keeps some of the critters at bay, especially the big ones that don't want to be bothered, and snakes don't want to be bothered. So I feel like my first one looks best. The wetter my brush gets, the muddier it gets. So I'm going to empty out my brush and try to fan this out just a little bit, just kind of give it a softer edge. Yeah, I like that a lot better. All I'm doing is I'm taking that wet paint that I just pounced on here, and I'm just kind of softening it up with a dry brush. So all I did was I took my brush that had all the paint on it, wiped it on my paint rag. Let's see if I can soften this up a little bit, see if it's still wet. This one's not as wet. Okay, and it's just softening up those edges. Okay, so remember, saran wrap paper. See if we can get this more in this. Saran wrap paper, and then just lazy painting. I'm done with this. I'm going to go ahead and clean this up. We're at the board game place in town. It has homeschool hours in it. It's only $5 for the whole family. What? I just peeked in to say hi. I'm at work and I will have to check out the replay. Okay, Tammy, we will see you in the replay, girl. I'm deadly afraid of snakes. Becca, girl, I'm telling you right now, when I see a snake or when I see a spider, you would think run, right? A lot of people would just run or get out of the way. There's something in my brain that freezes, and I'm like, huh. And there have been nights where I have spotted a spider in my travels to either the bathroom or to get some water, and the sound that comes out of my body. I think it's something like that because I can't get a word out. My whole body gets paralyzed. I can get like a sound. Just thinking about it makes me laugh. I go, huh. And he goes, there must be a spider. And I go, there is. And so he comes and kills it. And then I can go back to bed. Cindy says, I can handle snakes, but I can't handle spiders. Well, you're a better woman than me, Cindy. I can't handle either. Okay, so we've got our entire ornament painted, right? We and pretty much dry. Everything's pretty much dry. The white that we put on was really light layers. and you can build up and build up until you have exactly what you want. But they're pretty much painted. Let's go ahead and add our 3D pieces, and I'll show you what I've picked out. Okay, was in Michael's the other day, and I saw these starfish beads. These are over in the jewelry section. Okay, I saw these starfish beads. Y'all wait for it. These sea turtle beads. Oh my goodness. And just a small pack of seashells. And these are I think they're called, these were different than all the other seashells that they had there. They were dyed. Some of them were different colors. So I picked that pack. There were some that were just bleached sand color. And I didn't want it to be so matchy-matchy to my piece. And I also wanted them to be small enough to where they would fit on my design without making everything else look really teeny tiny. But I also didn't want them to be so big, so small that it didn't really match the rest of the pieces. So this was the pack that was kind of like the Goldilocks, not too big, not too small, kind of just right. So now we get to play. Now we get to play with some placement. Okay, so let's open this up. I would probably pass out if I saw one in person. I'm telling you, Maria, I don't do snakes. There was a time. Okay, so there's a memory. It's like a core memory. And I think this is, it's the first time I remember physically seeing a real live snake. Let's see. I like these. Okay, so these are my favorite ones to kind of design with. It's just a traditional seashell. But there's all different colors in here. So I'm going to get 3 of those. So I remember seeing, and then I'm going to get 1, 2, 3 of those. And then, hold on. I'm using all my brain power here to get this situated. And then 3 of those. Okay. So I've got these little seashells that are all different colors. I just picked different colors, but I tried to pick the ones that kind of matched enough so I can make them look similar. All 3 of them look similar. Okay, so have we decided which look we like the best? Which look do we like the best? This is A, B, C. So A is the plastic wrap. B is just like the plastic wrap, but it's just a little lighter. And then C is nothing. So y'all vote on that and tell me which look you like the best, because whichever one that wins is how I'm probably going to do the other set. I'm going to do a whole nother set of these later on tonight. I'm going to probably paint 3 more and put them in my stash, because at the end of the year, in the door hanger world, we do an ornament exchange. And so I figured if I'd make up some ornaments throughout the year, I have all different types of ornaments that I can give away. And I could probably gift to more than just one person. And so usually we pick just one person, and it's kind of a random thing that happens. And I'm like, well, if I make them up throughout the year, make a handful at a time, all different things, everybody gets something different. And I'm able to put a little extra happy out there past just the one person, right? Okay, so it's looking like have to go into full panic attack. Me too. Okay, so it's looking like B. I'm liking B too. I like the little bit of broken upness. Like this right here, this is clean. So I'm gonna go back and I'm gonna clean this up. I'm gonna add that. Okay, so we're gonna just add just a little bit. Just a little bit. Just need a little bit of broken upness. There we go. That's not enough. There we go. That's better. I didn't like how it was just plain. I didn't like the plain. I didn't like the plain at all. Oh, I don't like them, but I don't panic like I do with spiders. Cindy is just like, look, as long as it's not a spider, we're good. All right, so I'm going to open up my beads, which means I have a little mini tackle box. You know, the little box that you can put like little tackle pieces in. All right, we're going to just snip-a-roo this. Okay. And we only need, now there's two different types of starfish on here. I want the textured ones. There's textured, and then there's, put this in my trash can over here. There's textured, and then there's plain gold pieces. I think I can use the plain gold pieces for another project. So we've got the textured ones. See, we've got little divots in them. Now let's pick our, I think we can use anything but the blue ones. So our sea turtles, I don't want to use the blue ones. I feel like they will kind of mix in with the color. I'm thinking the green ones and kind of these two right here. Think of these two. Even this one would be fun, but I feel like it would blend in with our sand too much. So I'm thinking for contrast, I need to pick 3 of these. Good morning, Deidre. Oh, how cute. I love those little starfish. Me too. Okay, so the starfish were the ones that caught my attention first. And I do want to be able to do different projects periodically that aren't door hangers, that aren't garlands. You know, we get those in the studio. We get those. Plenty of people paint door hangers all day long, right? I want to show y'all that y'all can take the techniques that we learn here and that we learn in the studio, and you can use them on different things. Like, especially if you have craft fair booths, these are perfect craft fair booths, especially during the fall, where you can do different types of ornaments and really amplify them by putting 3D pieces on there. So we're just going to make a little vignette of ornaments, and none of this we're married to. We can switch a lot of this up. I'm leaning really close to not putting all those seashells on it. See, we still need our starfish. I feel like I'm going to take the itty bitty, okay, probably the blue one out. I'm going to take the blue one out, put our starfish. I like our little pop of gold. Put our little sea turtle. I don't know if our sea turtle needs to be out in the ocean or if our sea turtle needs to be like making his way to the ocean. Making my way downtown, walking fast. And you got them from Hobby. Okay, so the beads, you get beads anywhere. I got these specific beads from Michael's. I just so happened to have been at Michael's earlier this week. But I'm pretty sure starfish and these are kind of ceramic, kind of maybe an acrylic. So do we like him in the ocean, or do we like him kind of making his way to the ocean? I think I like that. How do we like that? Does anything need to move? Making his way to the ocean. I'm with Pam. I think so. And I'm sad I missed signups for your paint club. Oh, well, Stacy, send me a message. I can get you some information on it. The crystal diamond tulip paint would look good on Water Splash. I used it with my church stained glass. Ooh, vanilla. That's a good idea. I love Pam. Don't you love the turtles? Aren't the turtles just adorable? Okay, so Maria says she likes it like this. Pam says that the turtles need to stay right there. Okay, so here's what we're gonna do. Let's kind of take a mental picture of this. If I was working at my paint desk, really working on placement, I'd take a picture of this, and then because I would take a picture of it so that I can remember how I had everything there, and I'm going to just move things off and try to keep them in little groupings. I'm also going to take a little bit of sealer, and y'all remember I've got a whole tray just for sealer. It stays clean, okay? That thing has sealed I don't know how many things, but it stays crystal clear. Y'all know me, I don't like to waste things. So let's go ahead and seal everything up. We're going to use a clean brush. Usually I use a dry brush, but this one was clean. I just thoroughly cleaned it. We're going to go ahead and seal everything that's painted. And the only reason why I'm going ahead and I'm sealing it now is because whenever we put a 3D piece on here, If you try to seal afterwards, you're going to miss spots, and especially if you use a glossy sealer, it's going to be noticeable. So let's go ahead and just seal things up. A sealer doesn't take but a second to dry. And we do have our nifty little blow dryer over there. So we can speed it up. There goes Mr. Romo Dog. He just has to make his presence known. So there's number 2. Okay. And there's number 3. We're going to go ahead and put that in our brush water immediately. We do not want that sealer. We're going to give it a good wash. All right, so let's grab this. Let's blow dry. Now, this is not a very thick sealer. This is just the Liquitex varnish. It's in gloss. I believe there's even a high gloss, and I want to find that. I've only found gloss, but I want to say there's a high gloss as well. Okay. So we've got that nice and dry. Remember, we took our mental picture, but if you were smart, you took a real picture if you were working at your desk, right? Okay, so we're going to place our seashell. Let's place our starfish. And place our other seashell where our starfish is kind of tucked in. We're going to put our little sea turtle. And we're going to put, I have a slew of different glues that I like to use. I like to use Fabri-Tac, I like to use Gorilla Glue, and I like to use wood glue, okay? On a painted piece where I don't necessarily use wood glue. I use wood to glue wood to wood, okay? None of this is wood being glued to another piece of wood, so I'm not going to use the wood glue. In everything I do, I pretty much use Gorilla Super Glue, not the gel, the regular super glue. The gel doesn't go as far. You pay just as much, sometimes more, and you don't get as far with the bottle as you do the regular super glue. They work the same. The super glue gel is just thicker. I prefer just the super glue, just regular Gorilla Super Glue, blue top. Just remember that. And then I like Fabri-Tac. There's a couple of different Beacon products that start with Fabra. And it's not necessarily tack. You want Fabri-Tac. It bonds fabrics, lace, glass, leather, wood, trims, and a whole lot of other things. I've used this and it doesn't yellow. I've used this in scrapbooking for years, and I love it. I use it with my fabric pieces a lot. But I also like to use it as a bonder for my 3D pieces. So let's go ahead and do that. So what we're going to do is we're going to use our Fabri-Tac. This is a brand new bottle. I may have to open it. Oh, yeah, I have to open it. There we go. I just poke a hole. I don't try to get that metal bit out of there. I just poke a hole. So there we go. That's actually way too much. I don't know if you can see the little dollop of daisy that I put on there. That's a lot. That's a big bead. Okay, and then I'm going to take my super glue. The Fabri-Tac takes it needs some time to cure. Not a lot of time, but it does need some time to cure. It dries pretty fast, but it's not going to dry as fast as your super glue. And your super glue is going to fast set it so that it's not going to budge while your other glue is drying. So all I'm going to do is I'm just going to put a couple of drops around the Fabri-Tac, okay? A very raised bead. Oh. This is a very raised bead. I don't know why we got a little lag all of a sudden, but okay. It'll be okay. It'll catch up. So it's a very raised bead. Everything else is going to lay a lot flatter. So that's why I like to put the Fabri-Tac and the super glue on there. I feel like they're really going to hold tight. In fact, I'm going to go back and I'm going to put more Fabri-Tac. I want it to be nice and thick. The only thing that I feel like would hold better is resin. But resin is expensive. And they do sell little bits, little bottles of pre-mixed resin at Michael's. I saw that the other day. And I feel like it would work. But it's expensive. So for what we're doing, I feel like this is fine. Okay, so there's our little Fabri-Tac shell. We're just going to put our little starfish and our last little shell. And there's our little seascape. Now the next step, once we get all these little pieces on here, we're going to put a little bow, a little nautical bow, and then we'll be done. So let's put that one where you can see it. Let's do a green one. Let's do a green turtle. Remember, a good bit of Fabri-Tac. Just because it's a super, super duper raised. The Fabri-Tac dries super clear. So even if you see it, it's not going to be distracting. I'm skipping the super glue on this one. Just because I feel like the Fabri-Tac is going to hold. I'm going to leave these alone after we're done painting and getting all the pieces on here. So I'm just going to try and strategically place the pieces just like those. Because they're handmade, they do not need to be exact. Remember, on your actual beads, put a good bit, but you don't want it to be sopping wet. Put a good bit of glue down because you want it to really hold. Okay. And then this time, I'm just going to put a nice little dot of glue and then put my shell in the glue itself instead of trying to glue the shell. There we go. Fabri-Tac does kind of have like that little hairline, like what is that stuff? The glue, the glue gun, hot glue. There we go. Look at it. And I love how the green matches the green. Even in this one, the little blue green, it doesn't clash with this green. That was a happy little accident. I did not try that. I did not like worry about it when I was picking things out. The only thing I was concerned about was I loved this little pop of metallic in our potential ornament, and I wanted to make sure we preserved that. I wanted to make sure that we had that little pop of metallic. I didn't want to go with it. There were a couple of different starfish beads that we could have used, and I really wanted that little pop of metallic. Okay, so now I really love this seafoam colored one. So we're gonna use it. I had another green one, but I really like this seafoam one. There we go. He's just making me he's so daggum cute. Okay. Now this Fabri-Tac I get at Hobby Lobby. I've gotten it at Hobby Lobby. I've gotten it at Joann's. Just be careful about what you're buying. It's just like Mod Podge. There's all different products that Beacon puts out that kind of looks the same bottle, just like Mod Podge. That they all kind of have like a similar packaging. You got to make sure you're getting the Fabri-Tac. What is the other one? I cannot remember what the other. There's another bottle that looks exactly like it, and it's called something else, but it's not Fabri-Tac. Oh, Cindy is loving them. Maria is loving them. I'm loving them. I'm thinking, uh-oh, wrong step. We need to put our starfish on first. Let's put our starfish on. Remember, your super raised 3D pieces, like a bead, need to get a good substantial amount of glue, but you want to make sure you're using glue that's going to dry super crystal clear, okay? You do not want your glue to be distracting. You don't want your little bubble of glue to be super distracting. Here we go. Alrighty. Look how cute. I'm loving it. Okay. So now let's make us a little, we're done with the paper. So let's throw the paper away. Let's make a couple of bows. And all we're going to do is we're just going to take our door hanger twine. And we're going to make a couple bows. I just have to get to it because it's buried. Oh, goodness gracious. Okay. So we've got our door hanger twine. You can get this at Walmart or Hobby Lobby. I believe this one came from Walmart. Okay. So we're going to tie our tie first. So the hanger itself. I'm going to cut anywhere between about 8 to 10 inches. You can cut up to about a foot, but that's going to be a really long hanger. So we're going to fold our twine in half. Okay. So we got our twine folded in half. The loop and the free edges. We're going to take the loop and feed it through the back towards the front. Depending on how big your hole is and how thick your twine is, you may have to twist your twine to kind of make a shoelace. And then you're just going to take your loop. Okay, so we've fed our loop through. So there's our loop. It's going towards the front. We're going to take our twine, thread it through, and pull. Okay. And there's our hanger. So all we have to do at this point is just tie a knot at the top and have the knot be wherever we want it to, however long. You don't want it to be super long. Okay. So about 3 inches. And we'll just trim that off. We don't need it. Now to make sure it stays, guess what you can do? Take your Fabri-Tac and just kind of put it where the knots join. It will dry clear and it will kind of give it a little bit of a hold. Okay. And we set that off to the side. We still need to do 2 more hangers and then we can do 2 little bows. Okay. So about 8 to 10 inches. That's a very generous, it's a very generous hanger. You can also use wire, but with an ornament, you really want there to be a softness to it. Wire on a door hanger is fine. Wire on an ornament, it can get kind of messy with the wire. Okay. So we're going to feed the loop through the front. There we go. Tie our knot. Secure our knot. And then glue our knot. I've never had a knot come undone, but I have also taken the extra step to glue them down sometimes. Not every time. Just whenever I feel like it's going to be kind of handled a little bit. Okay, fold it in half. Hey, Melissa. So, Melissa, I was designing last night. And, okay, so Melissa and I got to FaceTime not too long ago, probably about a week ago. And she showed me something really, really, really cool and really pretty. And I just designed something using the technique that you showed me. And I'm really excited about it. It's really cute. Spoiler alert, if you know anything, if you've been following and painting with me for a while, this will give the hint away. My mama would love it. If you know what that means and you can kind of guess what kind of the theme it kind of ventures around, but it's beautiful. And I use the colors you showed me. It's beautiful. Wanella, the sand stuff is Deco Art Texture Sand Medium. You get it at, you can get it at Hobby Lobby and you can get it at Michael's. And I want to say I've seen it at Joann's too. So all your big box stores, you can get it. Okay, so we've got our 3 ornaments here. They look kind of identical. They also look very handmade, so kind of different at the same time. Let's make a quick little bow out of our door hanger twine. Okay. We're going to take, we're going to use this little scrap that we said we were just going to throw away. We're going to take, let's see, we're going to do 1, 2, just cut a few extra inches just for good measure. I don't mind trimming. Let's play around with this one first. Okay, so we've got about 10 inches here, about 10 inches worth of twine. And we're going to fold it in half. Find a good little bit. So I like my tails right there. I like that. So about a third of the way down. So I folded it in half. And at about the halfway mark, I'm pinching it. Okay, so we've got our tails down here. We've got a loop up here. We're going to push that loop down. Okay. So that gives us 2 little loops and some tails. I'm going to take these 2 loops. Okay, so that gets me about the halfway mark. I'm just kind of winging this, y'all. And I'm going to tie a knot with the loops. And that gives us a cute little handmade rope bow. Okay, I lied. We're not going to use that. This worked out just fine. Okay. So there we go. Now, if you had like a little rhinestone or a little clear acrylic bubble-like bead, you could put it right there. Or even, ooh, a little teeny tiny shell. Oh, y'all. Hold up. Hold your horses. Let's do this. Ooh, done. We're doing that. Okay. So what I was going to show you is I'm going to trim these, but before I trim them, I want to get a good idea of how I want to fray them out. So these the twine has ply. It has multiple strands that are making up the one big bulky strand. And for mine, it's 4. Okay. So I'm actually going to, once my bow is tied, we're going to untie it. Okay. There we go. So you see that versus that. It just softens it up. Y'all know me. Y'all know me. I like to take something and just give it a little dainty texture to it. Just a little dainty softness to it. I can't help it. If I look at something, I'm like, oh, but look, we can put a little lace on it and just soften it up. Put a little take a cast iron skillet and put a lace bow on it. Tell me that don't soften up a cast iron skillet. That's pretty much what we just did here. We took a cast iron skillet and we softened it up. Look at that. Now, that's obviously way too big, okay? That is, let's move these 2 out of the way. That is obviously way too big of a bow. So we need to trim this down to about half the size. Okay, so we're going to throw that away in our little nifty trash can over there. And now there we go. There we go. That's better. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to loosen up. Remember, we just did a tie through. So I'm going to loosen that up a little bit. And I'm going to take my bow and I'm going to section it out in half. See where that knot is? I'm going to hold that knot. And I'm just going to thread that bow through. And I'm going to tighten my little tie down on top of that bow. That way I still have a nice substantial bow, but I'm not having to hand tie this bow on here. And it still has nice little softness to it. Look at that. There's our little bow. There's our little ornament. Now, we're going to take it one last step. I know, a tiny anchor, Juanella. Wouldn't it have been precious? Y'all stay tuned. We're gonna do more ornaments, okay? I feel like y'all are liking this ornament deal, huh? If y'all would like to see more ornaments, y'all put the word ornament down in the comments to let me know that y'all are enjoying this and y'all would like to see more ornaments. Let's see. I like Juanella's idea. Look at that. I like the shell. Look, I was gonna put just a little shell in the center. But I really like the ornament idea. What if we just did another starfish? What if we took the starfish that like the solid starfish? Look how cute are those. Right, Marie? Right? Right? Okay, so it's looking like y'all are liking the ornament. So we may do a themed ornament every month to kind of tie into our paint studio family over in the paint studio, so that y'all kind of get an idea of what we're doing over there, so that y'all don't forget about us over there. I feel like if we did an ornament every month that kind of tied into what we're doing over in the studio, even though you missed the cutoff because it's coming, don't worry, we're going to be reopening soon. Even though you missed the cutoff, you still get to enjoy the fun, right? You still get a little cupcake from the party, okay? You may not get the whole slice of cake. We'll save you a cupcake. Don't worry. Here's your cupcake. So here we go. I think I like the starfish. I think an anchor would have been really cute too. But Juanella, I've already got an idea. You told, like, just the word anchor sparked the inspiration for our next one. I'm excited about it. Thank you, girl. Thank you. Okay, so we're just gonna put a nice little dollop. Remember, with your raised pieces, things that have a lot of texture to it, a lot of curves, for your curvy pieces, you really want to use a good bit of glue for it to really hold on to. Okay. Look. Oh my goodness. I love how the metallic is balanced out now. I love it. Okay, so let's let that dry. All right, next bow, next ornament. I don't remember how much. So we're going to tie it in half. We're going to fold it in half. Okay. We're going to find the halfway mark between that. We're going to fold it in half again and find the halfway mark. So there's our halfway mark. We're going to push that loop down to the halfway mark. We're going to grab, and if you need to kind of adjust your loops to where you have a good amount, you just want your loops to be even. You're going to tie a knot like crisscross applesauce and then even out. Now, you can do one of two things. You can go ahead and attach it to your hanger now, or you can go ahead and fray your pieces out. I kind of want to shorten my loops there. They kind of look like elephant ears. The most important part is making sure that they're even. You don't want them to be uneven. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and fray mine out because I feel like I get a better grip when I can hold on to it like this. Because watch this. It spins. See that bow? It spins. So I feel like if I were to attach it to the ornament and then try to do that, my whole ornament would spin and that glue's not completely set. I've had things flying all over the place. How funny. You draw inspiration from an item. I love it. Oh, I'm telling you, I get inspiration from everything. Everything. You could say something and I'm like, that's a cute look. Okay, that's gonna be on a door hanger. That's gonna be on a sign. We're gonna wrap that up with a pretty bow. I'll see textures, I'll see a pattern, and I'm like, oh, I like that pattern. I'm gonna do something with that pattern on it. I'll see a lot of times Raylyn comes home with stuff from her preschool. Because in preschool they learn something that associates with a particular letter. Well, sometimes it's not the things that you think of, like, okay, A stands for apple. Not in preschool. A can stand for aardvark. We don't have any aardvark door hangers hanging around here. That's a cute little design that I haven't seen before. It's just stuff like that. But yeah, you said anchor, and I already have some ideas that kind of associate with an anchor. But now that you said, when we were talking about this right here, when you said, ooh, how cute would an anchor be? I was like, yeah, but let me tell you right now, there's something in the works, and that word anchor works just perfectly with it. So you just helped me finish a thought. Like, it's been a thought that I've been holding on to for a little while. And there are things that inspire me, and I'm like, oh, I love it. I love it. But it's not a full thought. It's kind of like an author in writing a book. It's not a full thought yet. Like, it's just the idea of something specific. And I need that one thing that's going to help me push through that brick wall of thinking it through. And that anchor, the word anchor, it sealed the deal on it. So all I did was I loosened my little loop and, and slid it through the hanger that we've already created. And I'm going to, okay, so look, here's where, see how this one's way longer than this? All I'm going to do is shorten this up to kind of match that. And then we're going to take a starfish that's solid and not textured. A good little dollop. I need to go get some more Fabri-Tac. My cute little bottle here is just a joke. That's not enough. That's not enough for an actual crafting session. I think this is the smallest bottle. They sell it in bigger bottles. This is the 4 ounce. I want to say they sell it in 8 and 16 ounces. Okay. I'm so excited about this. Oh my goodness. Okay. So let's go ahead and loosen this up since we have our hand on it. Go ahead and loosen that up. Let's make one more bow. Okay, fold it in half. Fold it in half again. Find the center and push our loop down. And like I said, see our loops? Our loops weren't very big. I'm going to scoot that loop to being bigger so that I can actually tie that knot. So I'm just taking the loops and I'm tying the knot. Okay. I'm just kind of adjusting my loops so that they kind of match. Okay. And then we're going to fray. We're just going to pull the strands of the bow apart. Okay, Okay, so there we go. We got a messy little hand bow there. We're going to take half our bow. So we're going to take our bow, fold it in half. Got a tail and a loop on each side. We're going to put it to where the knot of the bow slides right underneath the loop of our hanger. Before I put some glue on this, let me show you what it looks like. Okay, so there's our bow. The glue and all the strands from my, so there's our bow. So look at the knot. See, I slid the knot underneath the loop and I tightened the loop over it. So the knot of the bow is in the center. So here's a strand of the loop and here's the other strand. So this right here is actually on each side of the bow knot. So that makes it not so bulky. So it's all one level. It's not like, it's not the knot and then another knot on top of a knot. So what I did was I separated this over the knot. So it kind of makes the knot wider in theory without making it bulkier. I love this. My daddy would love this. My daddy was an offshore oil guy. He worked offshore my whole life. And worked offshore my whole life. And he taught me how to make a couple of different knots, nautical knots. And so whenever I mess with this twine for more than just making a hanger on a door hanger or making just whenever I'm making a bow or making knots and stuff, it makes me think about him. I'm going to have to swing by Mama's house and show him like, ooh, daddy, look what I made. Okay, so we still have some. This one right here is starting to harden up really good. This one right here is still kind of pliable, so we're gonna leave it alone. What I would do is, since these are sealed. Remember, we've already sealed them. They're good to go. What I would do is I'd let these air dry overnight, and then come over and test, especially your really round, bubbled out beads like the sea turtles. Some of your beads are going to be really round on the back, and they're going to probably need some reinforcement. Other than that, you're good to go. These are ready to be hung as soon as they're dry. Now, if they need some reinforcement, take some of this Gorilla Super Glue, come in underneath your piece, come in underneath your piece, and put a good little bead of the super glue. Make sure it's touching the bead and the wood. Okay, and that should give it some sturdiness. I'm going to do that for all my little turtles right now, because everything else is pretty flat. That glue is really going to hold. Y'all just enjoy my mascara face. You know, the face that we all make when we put mascara on? That's it right there. That's mine. My mascara face. The one where you're really concentrating and not making a mess. So we did some hand painting. We didn't use a template or a stencil or anything like that. We just did some hand painting, a little bit of just kind of designing in our head as far as the beads go, and then we just went with it, and we created something. Look how cute. We created something fun and just organic. Now there's one more thing that you can do to make this look really nice. Okay, do you see all that paint on the edges? Let's clean that up. That'll be the last thing that we do. Let's clean that up. What I do is I like to take furniture stain pens. This is from the Dollar Tree. You can get it from Walmart. I've seen them at Hobby Lobby. I have a TikTok and a reel that show you exactly where I find these in Hobby Lobby. It doesn't matter what color you use. I prefer the black ones and the dark brown ones just because my laser edges are a little darker. But if you hand cut your designs, it does not matter what color you use. Unless you painted a fully black door hanger, then you're probably going to want to use the darker color just because you've got black paint on the edges. So see how clean that looks? And make sure it makes the ornament look 10 times nicer. So we went from that to that. See, it's just the little things. It doesn't take much to take your painting to the next level. Sometimes it just takes a little hidden trick. Doesn't take skill at all. It takes some practice and some little simple tips and tricks. It's almost like an illusion. Practice and a few little illusions. Oh my goodness, I just love these so daggum much. These turned out way better in person than they did in my head. That doesn't happen too often, does it? I cannot wait till next week when my energy is back up. I feel like I'm not myself. Okay, just know I am having fun. It may not sound like it, but I'm having a lot of fun. I may not feel good, dang it, but I'm having fun. Oh, Deidre, it's okay. There's always a replay, but that's what we made. We made cute little nautical ornaments that don't necessarily have to be for Christmas. You can make a little ornament hanger and just hang that on your mantle along with the rest of your mantle decor. You can put that in your tier tray right here. You can put a little ornament in your tier tray. They do not have to be for Christmas. Y'all, I want y'all to think outside of the box. It does not always have to be a Christmas ornament. I am going to clean my phone. Now, this is what happens. It's just like E6000. It kind of bubbles up at the end. What I do is I just take some trash. I clean up the end, and I quickly put the lid back on. And we're good to go for the next trial. Alrighty, y'all. That is all we have for today. I'm going to take my little beads, and I'm going to put them in a little tackle box so that I have them for the next project. And all my little seashells, and get my area just cleaned up. And then tomorrow I should be able to to hang one of these and to set the other two aside for giving away during Christmas time when we do our Christmas ornament gift exchange. I'm so excited. So every month I think we're going to do an ornament. If y'all liked it that much, I think every month we'll do an ornament that kind of ties into our theme over in the paint studio, so that y'all have a little cupcake too of what we're doing over this, so that you stay you stay aware of what we got going on over there. We do some fun stuff over there. And I feel like the paint studio gets a whole bonus tutorial on their theme. I think it's a win-win for everybody. I'm excited. That was okay, y'all. I'm quit holding you hostage. Deborah Wright's Paint Studio. Where is the video for the rustic can with tulips? Over in the paint studio. This is over in the paint studio. Well, it will be by the end of the day. I've got to get these videos transferred over. This is a paint studio. So the denim look, the tulip can, the stained glass. I like to teach very specific paint techniques over in the paint studio. So if you ever hear people talking about that, it's an online membership club that I have, and every month we tackle a new painting technique that takes your painting skills to the next level. And we dive into it all month. So we have 3 pieces that we take and we practice it all month long. And by the end of the month, you have a whole decor set. You have a door hanger, a porch leaner or a wreath attachment, and a garland banner, a 6-piece garland banner. Actually, let me go ahead before I leave. Let me do that. I got my very first package in from Home Creations Milling and Signage. And then you said, I'm so excited about our partnership. So if you haven't heard the news, we're going to be switching my entire shop over when it comes to the blanks. So if it's not there yet, we're still working on getting all the files over. If you normally order blanks from me, I'm slow as molasses now because y'all are ordering way too fast. That's a good problem to have, though. And so the orders that I have now are the ones that I'm working diligently to getting cut and out. But starting, I believe, next month, we're gonna be switching the shop over to Home Creations. And so I'm trying to figure out how we open this box because it's a little different. I don't want to break nothing. Okay, so I'm just opening it up. Y'all ready to see what we're doing in the studio this month? So I know I have a laser, right? I have a laser. I could have cut this out myself, but I wanted to see the quality that y'all are getting. Everybody raves about the quality. So we've got the whole decor set. They cut it for me this month. I have so much on my workstation. I don't want to necessarily just lay it on top of that. Let's move all these shells out of the way. Let's get us a little corner to work with. So I'm just going to open it up. So what we do is we do a door hanger, a 22-inch door hanger, a 10-inch attachment, and a 6-piece garland. Okay. Oh, it's so packaged up so nicely. So much tape. Woo. Y'all, this is like this is a swaddled baby. It's a swaddled baby. I'm not even joking. This thing ain't shifting. There was no shifting in transit for this. They packaged it up so nicely. There's a lot of removing of the tape that needs to be done. Okay. We broke it free. We broke it free. Okay. Throw that over there. I'll pick it up in a minute. So here's the whole set right here. Here's the whole set. Let's see if we can just go ahead and we'll just cut through the saran wrap, the shrink wrap. All right, so over in the paint studio this month, we are tackling a very particular. I won't spoil the surprise of what technique we're doing over there. But we tackle a very specific technique each month, and this month, the design was inspired off of the technique itself, which usually it is. I'll take the technique and I'm like, how can I showcase this with a design? And then I try to make it seasonal as well. So it always makes sense with what season we're about to approach in. So there's that. So here is the attachment. It's a starfish. Okay. Here's the 6-piece. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All 6 pieces are there. They're seashells. And then here is the door hanger. So I don't know if you can tell, but there's an etched mermaid tail in it. And it's in the shape of a seashell to kind of correlate with the seashell banner garland. And I love it. It's beautiful. It's perfect. They did a beautiful job. Oh my gosh, this is like we're seeing it for the first time together. I haven't seen. It's so beautiful. Okay. So that's the design that we're painting over in the paint studio this month. It's a mermaid tail inside of a seashell, and it's really pretty. The color scheme is super pretty. And then we've got a seashell banner garland, and then we have a starfish attachment. Which if you notice, those were minus the mermaid tail. Those were the elements that we had. We had a starfish, we had seashells, and then the water, which there's some water elements in this design as well. Hey, Grace. I can't wait to order from them. I'm telling you, Sandy, this is like, in my brain, like when I saw pictures of it, I was like, that's really nice quality. Having it in my hand, it's really nice. Like there's no flashback. There's no, if you're a laser person, then all these terms make sense. There's no flashback. There's no hazing. Like it's just beautiful. Like I'm telling you, I'm really impressed. I'm loving it, Grace. I cannot wait. So tomorrow is our door hanger tutorial over in the Paint Studio. So if you're a Paint Studio member, don't miss out. Tomorrow at 10 a.m. Central Standard Time, we're going to be painting live our door hanger. And then later on this month, we're going to be painting live our attachment and garland pieces together. How do I purchase the stencil? What stencil? What shape, Miriam? Which one are we talking about? The stencil, which one? What's the group for that tutorial? That is the Paint Studio. That is the Paint Studio. And if y'all have any questions about the Paint Studio, y'all just send me a private message. Well, we can chat about it. Where is the video for the... Okay, yeah, that's in the Paint Studio. They jumped in, gonna have to watch the replay. Where's the Pocket Full of Posies video? Finally getting them cut out. Juanella, they will be added to the studio today. That's on my to-do list today. I got to get that. I've got to get y'all's mermaid stencil added in there as well. It's gonna be a full day in the studio by dinner time. How can you draw the... All right. Well, I think we're all caught up on the comments. I think our entire tutorial's done. I think it was a success, and I think we're going to be doing this more often. I thoroughly enjoyed it, even not feeling well. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I hope you did too. Y'all hang out with me. If you're in the Paint Studio, come hang out with me tomorrow at 10 a.m. inside the studio. If you're not part of the Paint Studio, y'all come hang out with me on Monday, 10 a.m. Central Standard Time, where we will be painting a door hanger or a porch center attachment. I have not decided yet, but I know exactly what we're going to paint. So I will see y'all later. Bye.